In the next video, our series, we're going to continue talking about the Buddha. We're going to talk today about the 4 sights. Recall from the last slide, we had this prophecy. Siddhartha would either become a king or a holy man. From this, his father sheltered him with the desire that Siddhartha become a king. Concealed Siddhartha from reality. But at age 19, Siddhartha, with his chariot driver Channa, and without his father's permission, goes beyond the palace grounds. He sees 3 things. He sees an old man, a sick man, and a corpse. He sees an old man, feeble, kind of bent over, walking slowly, wrinkled skin, graying hair. And he turns to Channa and says, "Well, what's that?" I said, "Well, that's an old man." Siddhartha says, "Well, how'd he get that way?" Channa says, "We all get that way. This is just the result of aging. We will all eventually be like that. Feeble, not looking so handsome, wrinkled, graying. We will all age." And with the sick man, sees this man ailing, coughing, sneezing, retching, very sick. Siddhartha turns to Channa and says, "Well, what's that?" And Channa says, "Well, that's a sick man. And that's suffering." Siddhartha says, "Well, how did that happen?" Channa says, "Well, we will all get sick at some point in life. We'll at some point become ill, and we will suffer. Suffering is in store for us all." And he sees a corpse. Flies around it, starting to decay a little. He turns to Channa and says, "Well, what's that?" And Channa says, "Well, that's a corpse." And Siddhartha says, "Well, how did he get that way?" Channa says, "Well, that's what's in store for us all. We will all die." And so he sees these 3 things, and he realizes what is in store for everybody and what's in store for him in the future. As he will age, he will suffer, and he will die. And this seems unavoidable. And then this cycle will just repeat. Infinity. An infinite amount of lifetimes in which you age, you suffer, you die. You age, you suffer, you die. And then he sees a wandering ascetic, a samana. And he turns to Channa and says, "Well, what's that?" Channa says, "Well, that's an ascetic. That's somebody who's renouncing the material world, devoting themselves to Brahman and Atman." Siddhartha says, "Well, why? Why are they doing that?" And Channa says, "Well, they believe if they do that, they can escape this cycle. They can be liberated from it. They can achieve moksha, where they will no longer age, suffer, and die. They'll be free." And this gives young Siddhartha hope. There's an escape. And we call these the 4 sights. Old man, sick man, corpse, ascetic, aging, suffering, death, hope. These 4 sights continue to occupy his mind. Then he makes the decision to leave the palace. He leaves in the middle of the night. "I'm not going to live this sheltered life anymore." And he abandons his wife and his son, who he says are chains. They're keeping him imprisoned in this cycle. And he must break the chain. And he breaks the chain and becomes a wandering ascetic, a samana, seeking moksha, seeking liberation.